During my high school years, I was extremely, extremely depressed, and it was at the point where I almost ended up dropping out of high school. I found that I was spending all my time alone, just in misery, just wallowing over just self-pity that I felt for myself, that at that point I figured there's no way that there's a God out there that loves me if I can be in a situation like this. I felt that I hated God because of what had happened in my life. I despised him. I didn't want anything to do with him, and I found that the only strength that I could find, the only thing that I could rely on, was myself. There was no God that loved me. There was nobody out there that cared for me. That really helped to solidify the idea that he wasn't there listening to me. It still continued on in the future, but I started to find hope in something that wasn't going to ever fulfill me. It started to become my life's mission and my main worry to make sure that I was getting the best grades that I could possibly get once I started going to college. No matter how many tests I ace, no matter how much praise I got from my professors, that once I went home at the end of the day, I still felt empty. And in fact, most of the times I felt more empty than I had before. Because I figured, well, if I could just do better, if I could just get a better grade, if I just get another degree, then I know that I'm going to be happy. I just have to get to the next goal. But it turned out every time that I went through that door and I achieved that goal, there was another one right in front of me on the other side. It was another one that I was trying to use to fill the pit of emptiness that rested inside of my heart. The dominoes started to fall into line when I met my wife. I met her at school and decided that this was somebody that I wanted to try to take a chance with. So I asked her on a date, and reluctantly she actually went out and said yes, and went on a date with me, and I learned on the first date that she was a Christian. Now, me coming from an atheistic standpoint, this was way out of the ballpark. You know, she didn't know anything she was talking about, and it was my job as an atheist to go save her from Christianity that had brainwashed her through this crazy man known as Jesus Christ. You fast forward to the future of our dating life, and you find us in a bit of a quarrel. We are fighting over our world beliefs, believing that our relationship is not going to be working out. I was effectively coming to the chopping block of our relationship, and more importantly, a relationship with God. There was one night that I decided that I was going to go out into the parking lot in my car and tell her that there was no possible way that I could ever accept Jesus Christ into my life. And during this time, there was a guy who was looking for his phone, and he had asked me if I knew where his phone was. And I told him I didn't know where his phone was at all. I'm going out to the car to go call my girlfriend right now and potentially, end everything with her. So I went out to the car, and right at the moment I was about to tell her that there's no way I could accept Jesus Christ into my life, this guy who was looking for his phone comes up to my driver's side window and starts pounding on it right at the time when I was going to say the words, "Sweetheart, I can't accept Jesus Christ into my life." Right at the beginning of that sentence, he came, interrupted me, and saved me from destroying my relationship with God. And it started to dawn on me at that point that God was able to help give me the ability to start to see what he had in store for me. So after that night, I decided to go to church that next Sunday, and it happened to be that the next week on a Wednesday there was a Bible study group starting up. I saw so much honesty and truth coming from those people. Their reactions and emotions were so genuine. I still remember this man crying and saying, "I can't believe that Jesus Christ, he sticks up for me." It was such an impactful thing to learn from them. I wasn't even there for the biblical study of it. I wanted to hear testimonies of people. I wanted to hear relationships being formed with God. And that's exactly what I heard. I started to put my faith in Jesus Christ right after I had breakfast with the small group leader, whose name was Scott Connolly, and he told me that if I wanted to give myself to Jesus, all I had to do was go pray to him and ask him to enter into my life and to fill me with the Holy Spirit. Right after that breakfast, I went back to the dorm room that I was staying in at the time, and I sat on the side of my bed and I asked Jesus Christ into my life to show me what I had been missing for all of these years. And boy, did he deliver. This is what happened to me. And it's so meaningful in my life that I just want to share it with everybody else. It's so important. The testimony of faith was God telling me that I am here, you have nothing to worry about, so come follow me. Thanks to God, I was humbled before this and was able to see past the pride and arrogance that was blinding me for so long and keeping me away from the one who was truly going to give me that sense of fulfillment. That Jesus Christ was knocking at my door, and all I had to do was open the door and answer. And it was the best decision I've ever made in my life.